Hi guys, my name is Jenoah and welcome to the 5th tutorial of the membership website series. In the previous episode we created a system to log into our website, but in this tutorial I want to make it so that you can edit the information that you created upon registration because something might have changed or whatever. If you want to change it, we want to be able to do that, such as the information like this. And the way that we're going to do that is by creating a profile page. Let's copy everything from the login page and then create a new page called profile.php. Let's paste everything and remove something such as the results over here. And let's change up the form. Well, in the form we want to be able to change everything that we entered upon registration except for the username and for the origin, because of course the origin can't be wrong. Let's copy all of this and replace everything from the profile to this. Remove the username because we do not want to be able to change the username, since this can be your primary key. But of course feel free to change up whatever you want. And then remove the origin and change up the name of our submit button to update submit or something like that, and the value will be update profile. Now we can also change the information on the page. So let's say update your profile on our membership website and welcome to the profile page. Please fill in all the fields in order to make your account. Well, I do not want to make it so that you need to fill in every field, so we are going to change this up to please in all the fields you want to change in order to update your account. Because what if you don't want to change your first name or your last name? Then of course you do not have to fill it in, so we are not going to force them to. What I also wanted to do is do not exclude everyone that is logged in from this page, but exclude everyone that is not logged in from this page. And the way that we're going to do that is by adding an exclamation mark in front of the is set, and the exclamation mark means not. So it now says if the session username is not set, then refer everyone back to the index page. And now we cannot enter this page except for typing in the exact link in our web browser. And the way that we're going to fix this is by going to the index.php, and underneath the logout we want to add a break, and then we want to echo the link of the profile page. So a href equals profile.php, then profile, close up the link and add another break if you want to. Now let's refresh this, and as you can see the profile link is there. Whenever we go there we have an error on line 24 from the profile page. Let's go there, probably because we changed something up, which means that we have too many of these curly brackets. Now let's refresh, and as you can see, this now works. I do want to add some blocks to this because you do not always want to change your password, and now it kind of seems like you do want to. So we are going to our style.php, and then in here we want to create a new class called something like content box or something, which is more specific. And in here we want to set a width of, let's say, 40% with a margin of 5% either side, or we can also say 4% and a padding of 1%. Now we also need to change the background color, because otherwise you can't see it. We now have this color. There's a very handy website called Flat UI Colors, and over here you have a palette of colors that can be used within, well, each other. I think I have the wrong color. Yes, we already have used this. Well, now let's get this color then, and set the background color to this color, which is this color. Then we also want to have float left, since we want to be able to add multiple next to each other. And then the content will also have an overflow of auto, meaning that nothing will surpass the well, just the box, even if there is an item with float in it. Now that we have the content box, I want to add them to the profile page. So let's go to the profile page and add them using div class equals content box. And then let's look what we want in there. We want to move this password to another form, and this form we're going to create in a second. Now let's close this off and open it again and put in the password in there, and aligning it properly. We'll look how that looks. Oh, and of course we also need to go to the style, and in our case we do not want a text align. And the way that we are going to do that, it might be a little bit not done, but for me it works. We're going to set the style of text align. I thought that we used text align to none. Oh, we just need to refresh because I have cache enabled, and as you could see there, it's still overflowed over here, and we do not want that. So that means that the fill screen content, instead of just the content, needs the overflow none, which I did here, but it needs to be over here. And I also want to change something, which is the input of the content box and the select of the content box, select, and over here we want to change the width of the fields because they are very small, and let's change them to something like 80%. Refresh, and this looks way better. Now we have two fields. One is for our first name, last name, and our age, and one is for our password. Now let's first remove this spelling error, and then create the SQL commands that we need to execute this code. Let's go to our profile, then change this spelling error, and also add a button to the password. Over here, input type submit, name equals change password, and value is change password. Now we also can delete this and modify this to change the name. Then we do not have the username, but still we are going to use it, but change this to session. Then the password we are going to do in another submit. This can be deleted. We need to change this up at all, but still it can be deleted for now. Then this can also be deleted, and now we want to add everything that is in here. First name equals post first name, last name equals $_post last name, and we also have the age, which equals $_post age. And then let's also already create the if is sets for our password content box, which is change password. If is set $_post. So if someone pressed the button of the change password, then we want to check for the passwords by creating a variable password equals $_post password, and the same for the confirm password, which equals $_post confirm password. Great, now we have this, but there is a problem. Whenever the user only wants to enter their first name, then presses the button update profile, then this will be reset to blank, or there will be an error depending on what we are going to do. I want to make it that only the things that you fill in are going to be updated. Let's do that right now. The way that we're going to do this is actually by just commenting out this SQL, because I don't think I need it right now, and then checking if every field is entered. You can do that by if is set, and then using first name, which means if the first name field is filled in, then we want to do something, and this something will be an SQL command. Let's say SQL equals, and then this will be new. We are going to update the existing information, and for that we're going to use the update command. Update user for the table. Then we are going to use set, and then we are going to get the information from our table, localhost php myadmin tutorial user, the column name from our table, let's say first name or row name, and then the first name. This thing is what we want to update. So we're going to say set first name equals, and then the information that we want to enter, which is first name. And then we're going to say where, because we do not want to update it everywhere. We want to say where user name equals username, and that is why we kept the username over here, so we can fetch the session username. And you cannot use the session username in here because we already used the single quotation brackets and also the double quotation brackets, or no, not brackets, just the marks. Now this should work, and we cannot test it yet because obviously we haven't executed the command. And let's make that now. We are going to say if MySQLi query, then we're going to establish the connection, and then we want to execute the SQL, and there is not really anything we want to show because the user can do multiple things. Or yeah, we can enter a global message such as message equals your information has been updated. We can add something like that. And then what we want to do is we want to copy this and paste it for every field that we want to update, so that it only will be updated if it is filled in. And we can do that for last name. Update user set last name where last name, and then the same for our age. If age is filled in, change the age to age. Now we should be able to, well, just update it. Let's check it. Now we have this information. Let's refresh the page and only change our first name to Sir Jenoah or something. Yeah, we just need to enter something to test. Let's update our profile, and we haven't removed the required over here. Then obviously we cannot enter only one thing. Let's remove those. But what we do want to do is we want to keep them here, because whenever we press this button, you still need to enter both of them. And that is why we can keep it over there. Let's refresh, change our first name to Sir Jenoah, update our profile, and it still gives the error. Why? Because I haven't saved it. Okay, then one more time. At the profile, your information has been updated. Let's refresh over here, but it still set the last name. What we also can do is change up the is set. Wait, what did it do for age? It set it to 0. We can also change it to from is set to not empty with an M. Yes, like this. Then try it again, because empty just looks if something is empty or not filled in a space, or it checks multiple things. Let's try it again. And now we need to add something in here in order to display it correctly, or not display it correctly, but to see a change. And let's say that I want to change my name back. We do need to refresh to Jenoah, then update the profile. Let's see what it has done. Now it only changed the first name. Now let's only change the last name to Doe, and I am 89. Update the profile. It resets. The information has been updated. We will update this. It only updated the last name and our age, and that is how you can update with only specific fields. Let's change it back for now to my original location. No, not location, information, I'm sorry. And I'm 18 years old. That has been updated again. What about the password? Well, we already created a kind of script in the registration form, and we can reuse some of that, which is this. Well, no, we actually cannot reuse it, but yeah, only one line to check if the password is the same as the confirmed password, and if it is, then we can change it. So we can copy this, but let's just retype it. We go to the change password, and then over here we are going to check if they are both filled in, and if they are the same. And if one of them is not filled in, then obviously they are not the same. And if they are not filled in at all, then the form should give an error, but still some browsers do not support this, so we're going to add a manual is empty. So if is not empty password and not empty confirm password, then we want to execute this script. And in here we can just use the update command to this. Then we want to set not age but password to the password, and we also need to encrypt our password, and the way we did that was with SHA1. Now we have the encrypted version, but what I also want to do, just for safety, whenever you log out, then you will be redirected to the logout page. And we're going to do that by first displaying a message. Your information has been updated. Due to safety, you will be logged out. And then we want to add a refresh. We can use the header in there, refresh. You will have 3 seconds, and then the URL you will be sent to is going to be logout.php, and logout.php will automatically redirect you back to the index page, as you can see. Well, let's just try it out for now. We are going here. This is our current information. Then we want to change our first name to be something like, let's be fancy, double the name. And I have aged for 1 year. Update the profile. Our information has been updated. As you can see, it updated it here as well. And I logged out. I didn't mean to. Maybe a unusual spot for it, but still worked. Let's log back in. Well, everything still works, obviously. Go to our profile, change it back. It has been updated, and now I want to change my password to just regular test. Let's just do something like this. Test, change password, nothing happens, which means that it has been updated. Now let's say test 1 2 3. Oh, we haven't entered what it should do when it is empty, or whenever it is not the same. This we want to say else message equals please fill in both fields in order to update your password. And then for this one we also want to add an else statement with another message in there, which will be the passwords you entered aren't not the same. Please check it again. Now we can actually change it. Test. Oh, it's probably because of the name. This is change password, but it is change password. Oh, I see. We totally forgot it to add a form around it. Let's just quickly add one. Align everything and then try again. It added some spacing over here. Test. Now it says we need to fill in both of them. Test 1 2 3. Then they are not the same. We cannot enter whenever we haven't filled everything in. Let's change it to just a regular test. And then we can change the password. Then it says that the username is unknown. Oh, and that is because we logged out. And then we can go here and use our new password. Okay, well, the username is unknown on line 49. Where username? Oh, that is because of this, which means that it couldn't update. And now it should work. Use the old password, test 1 2 3. Log back in. Go to the profile. Change it to test. Change the password. It has been updated, and now we will be logged out. Go to the login screen. Test the old password. Test 1 2 3. And once again, we forgot something. We haven't executed the SQL. I'm sorry that I'm forgetful now. It is only 9 AM. Which means that I just came out of bed just to create this video. And also the SQL. Well, yeah, there isn't anything that we need to do. We can display a message. The message is also displayed here. Let's just do something like this. And then an else statement with another message. Something went wrong. Please try again later. Move this. Test it again. Username, old password. Now we can log in. Still log in. Go to our profile, change it to just test. Change the password. Now it says that it has been updated as well. Login, username, new password, and now it says that we are logged in. Let's look at the database. Our password has changed to an entirely other hashed version. Hash is another word for encryption, sort of. Not really, but it's close enough for now. And it works. We can edit our information. We can change our password, and that is how to update your profile. Later on in this series, I want to add another box with which we can add a profile picture, but that will be an entire lesson on its own. And I also want to remove this. And yes, this is just the profile page for now. I hope you learned something, and if you have something you want to learn as well, please comment it down below. Also, don't forget to like this video if it helped you out, and subscribe for more of these lessons. Thank you.